A game that the Mustangs desperately need here, as they are 4-1 in league play, 10-4 overall. Fort Lupton is sitting at 4-2. Colorado 7-8-7 on the season on Senior Day. They're having a pretty nice year as they play their final regular season home game. We'll get to the starting lineup here momentarily. For the Fort Morgan Mustangs, it's brought to you by Cargill, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. Batting first is the second baseman, Joe Holbeck. The pitcher, Trevor Shirtliff, at second. Catcher, Trey McBride, bats third. The third baseman is the cleanup hitter, Nate Cage. Isaac Linker, the shortstop, hits fifth. Grayson Garver in right hits sixth. The left fielder bats seventh. That's Jimmy Keller. Adrian Marquez, the first baseman, hits eighth. And J.P. Hamer, the center fielder, bats ninth. Fort Lupton defensively has Andrew Segovia at first. The second baseman is Gavin Case. Over at third is Dante Vasquez. Dusty Howard at short. Around the outfield, Ernesto Sanchez in left. Martin Jimenez in center. Bobby Miller in right. Behind the plate is John Howard. And Freddie Suarez, a big right-hander, delivers the opening pitch. And that's a fastball for a strike down the middle, thigh high. And it's 0-1. Here to Joe Holbeck. First pitch brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Locations in Brush and Fort Morgan, and that's down and away. They can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions, or provide a quote. Holbeck hitting .333 here in 2017. The big right-hander Suarez gets the sign from Howard. Here's the wind and pitch, and that hit him. Got him somewhere around the left hip. And on the third pitch of the game, the Mustangs have a man on. And that'll bring up Trevor Shirtliff. Shirtliff hitting .296. And the pitch swung on and lifted down the right side and out of play. Just reached out with a bat. Counted no balls and one strike. Fort Lupton right behind Fort Morgan in the Colorado 7 league standings. So it's a big game here for both teams. Holbeck with a two-step lead. And the offering. And he squares to bunt, lays it down right in front of the plate. Suarez, the pitcher, picks it up, throws to first in time. The sacrifice successful, that is. 1-3 and one down here in the first. And that'll send up the number 3 hitter, Trey McBride. McBride has been mashing all season, hitting .410. Second on the team in hitting. Looking in is Suarez. And the pitch. And that is low with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. This Blue Devil baseball program is getting better the last 2 or 3 years. Off of second is Holbeck. And the 1-0. Swing and a miss on a changeup up and in. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike to Trey McBride with 1 out, 1 on in the top of the first inning. On a pretty nice day here in Fort Lupton. This will be the last nice day we have probably until Sunday. Howard lays down the sign. And McBride awaits the pitch. Here it is. Swung on and grounded to short. Should be a routine play for Howard. Throws to first in time. Advancing to third is Holbeck. As McBride is retired, there's 2 down. 2 down here in the first for Nate Cage. Yeah, the one thing in past years that has plagued Fort Lupton, it's been defensive errors, but so far so good for the Blue Devils. Cage is batting .359. Suarez will from the windup with a man at third. Swing and a miss and a ball tailing away. It's 0-1. Went with a fastball. No balls and 1 strike to Cage. The big, strong right-hander, a senior, playing base today for Fort Morgan. And the pitch. And that is a strike on the outer half at the knees with a fastball. And the count is at 0-2. Suarez ready. Holbeck leads from third. And he turns and fires. And that is a breaking ball that gets away from Howard towards the screen. Here comes Holbeck, and he slides in. That'll be a passed ball. And the Mustangs lead 1-0 here in the top of the first inning. Threw him a breaking ball, and he just couldn't handle it. Got there in flight. So the Mustangs are given a run without the benefit of a hit. And Cage up there with a 1-ball, 2-strike count. With Isaac Linker on deck. And Freddie Suarez delivers. Swag and a miss on a fastball above the letters. And Nate Cage strikes out. The Mustangs score a run without a hit. Let's head to the bottom of the first. Fort Morgan 1. And the Blue Devils of Fort Lupton are coming to bat. It's a 1-minute break on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs have a 1-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Here's a starting lineup here for Fort Lupton. Dusty Howard, the shortstop, hits first. Gavin Case, the second baseman, bats second. The third hitter is John Howard, the catcher. Batting fourth is the cleanup hitter. Well, obviously the cleanup hitter bats fourth. Right fielder Bobby Miller. Dante Vasquez, the third baseman, is fifth. Freddie Suarez, the pitcher, bats sixth. The DH is Andres Escada bats seventh. Andrew Segovia hits eighth, and Ernesto Sanchez bats ninth. I believe that's Escada, by the way. Make that correction for Escada. And here is Dusty Howard, the shortstop from the right side against Trevor Shirtliff. And the pitch is a fastball for a strike on the outer half of the knees. This is the Fort Morgan ace, Shirtliff, who's been pitching like that all year. And the breaking ball is inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Shirtliff at 5-1, a 2.78 ERA. Howard digs back in. The pitch. And that fastball is up and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Conifer takes on Skyview today. The Mustangs need a Skyview win as the breaking ball swung on and missed to have a chance to win the Colorado 7, because Conifer and Fort Morgan have 1 loss apiece, but Fort Morgan lost to Conifer, so the Lobos have the tiebreaker. Swung on, grounded foul up the right side. Count remains at 2-2. Joe Holbeck was hit by a pitch, and then he was moved over by 2 hitters, came around to score on a passed ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the offering, and he bounces it in to McBride. It's 3-2. One thing Cage does not want to do is have a long first inning. He's already going to have a long first hitter. And the 3-2 pitch. And the breaking ball is grounded up the middle. The shortstop, Isaac Linker, has got it. Sets throws a laser to first. Late! And beating it out was Howard. Well, that was a bang-bang play at first, but it's a base hit. That's the way this game starts for Fort Lupton in the bottom of the first inning on that slow roller. And that'll send up Gavin Case. Well, let's see if Case is going to play some small ball here. Yeah, that could have gone either way. It was that close. Howard with a 2-step lead snap throw to first. Back in diving is Howard. Got to watch out. McBride's got a great arm behind the plate. The Mustangs at double play depth. Another snap throw back in there. Shirtliff looks in. Long pause and the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. That was well out of the zone. It was neck high. Gaddis at no balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. And that bounces in. Blocked by McBride. The count at 1-1. The Mustangs defensively have Marquez at first, Holbeck at second, Nate Cage at third. Isaac Linker's the shortstop, and left is Jimmy Keller, J.P. Hamers in center. Grayson Garver in right, McBride behind the plate. And the throw back to first, and the ball's off the glove of Marquez. He's got to chase it down. Just didn't look it in. The runner did not advance. If not, it would have been an error by the first baseman. Got about 5 feet away behind him, so it wasn't too bad, but even still, Marquez runs that ball right back to the pitcher. Perhaps trying to compose himself a little bit. The Mustangs in those camo jerseys. Haven't seen them wear those a lot. And the gray pants, the pitch, squaring to bunt, and it's missed. And the count is at 2 strikes. 1 ball and 2 strikes there to Case. The stretch. Shurtleff delivers. And the breaking ball, swing and a miss on the inside corner at the knees. And he tied him up. It's 1 down. Here's the catcher, John Howard. Again, the Mustangs at double play depth. Snap throw to first again. Back in diving is Dusty Howard. Fort Morgan with a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning. And swung on and popped up down the right field line. To his left as Garver, runner was going, retreats to first. The catch is made. There's 2 down, and Howard is back to first. Good idea with a hit and run as Bobby Miller steps in for Fort Lupton with 2 down. First Mustang run was brought to you by Morgan Federal Bank, a bank that is committed to their community and keeping banking simple, on the cutting edge of banking at 321 Ensign, and that is down and away. There's a difference. Morgan Federal Bank, 1 ball and no strikes. 2 down, a man at first. 1-0 Fort Morgan in the bottom of the first inning. And the pitch runner goes. It's taken high. The throw by McBride on a hop, the tag, and out by no, the ball is dropped there. Dropped by Holbeck. If not, Howard would have been out by a mile there, but it's a stolen base for Dusty Howard. He just tried to apply the tag a little bit too early. And Howard's got speed, but McBride's got a strong arm, and he got rid of it quickly. 2 balls and no strikes. The tying run is at second. The stretch by Trevor Shurtleff, and the pitch down and away. Kind of opened up there. It's 3-0. On deck, it's Dante Vasquez, who's going to be the first left-handed hitter in the lineup. And that's a strike with a fastball at the knees. Down the middle, it's 3-1. The stretch, And the 3-1 pitch. Swung on and grounded to second. Holbeck is right there on the second hop. Flings it to first. And the Mustangs get out of that minor jam. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left at second. Let's head to the second. It's Fort Morgan 1, Fort Lupton nothing. This is Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. 1-0 Mustangs as we head to the second inning. Fort Morgan scored in the first on a passed ball, allowing Joe Holbeck to slide in safely. It'll be Isaac Linker, Grayson Garver, and Jimmy Keller for the Mustangs here in the second against right-hander Freddie Suarez. Linker has been destroying the baseball this year, hitting .465, a team leading 20 hits, a team leading 12 runs batted in, second on the team with 4 doubles, leads a team with 15 runs scored. And the good news, he's only a sophomore. And here's Linker to begin the second. As John Howard lays down the sign, the wind and pitch, and the breaking ball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes to the sophomore shortstop for the Mustangs. Swat is ready. And the pitch. And that's a fastball at the knees for a strike, framed very nicely by Howard. Count is leveled at 1-1. We'll have the Mustangs tomorrow, weather permitting, at 2 o'clock on B106 and B106.com. Against Skyview from Thornton. The pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. That's headed out of play. All of a sudden, the sun has made an appearance here. Apparently, a vehicle took the brunt of that foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Linker, the number 5 hitter in the Fort Morgan lineup. Yeah, I brought this extra jacket, man. I'm not taking chances. This could drop 20 degrees in an hour. And the breaking ball is fouled to the screen. Remaining at 1-2. Yeah, I've been suckered for pleasant weather. And then all of a sudden, 2 or 3 innings later, it can be almost blizzard-like temperatures. That won't happen now. The pitch swung on and lifted towards the second baseman into shallow right center field. Going back and making the lunging catch is Gavin Case for the out. Case puts it away, and that'll send up Grayson Garver. Garver hitting .417. Well, that's second on the team. McBride is third at .410. I misspoke earlier. But that's 3 Mustangs over 400. Here's the Mustang outfielder awaiting the pitch. And here it is. Squaring to bunt, lays it down the third baseline, and it's fielded. The throw to first is going to be low and late. Vasquez tried to throw at Garver, but Garver beat it out. It's a base hit. Fort Morgan's first hit of the game. And it wasn't one of his great bunts either. It was just good enough. Had a little bit too much mustard, but Garver's got tremendous speed. Here's Jimmy Keller. Keller, a junior, is hitting .290. The stretch. Keller awaits. Fastball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Fort Morgan leads 1-0 in the top of the second inning. 340 in the left center field power alley. 350 right center. And 330 down the lines. Those are weak power alleys considering. Swung on and grounded into left field for a base hit. Beyond the diving Howard. Advancing to second is Garver. As Jimmy Keller picks up the second Fort Morgan hit in as many batters. And now here comes Adrian Marquez, a senior. He was on the mound yesterday along with Cage in a 7-5 loss to Longmont. Marquez is batting .256, hitting in the 8-hole. Freddie Suarez looks back at second to the lead runner. And the pitch, fastball is up and in. Had that little Louis Tion twist where he contorts the body almost facing the runner at second and then twists all the way around and delivers towards the plate. Marquez awaits the 1-0. Long pause, the pitch, and that is down and in with a heater. 2 balls and no strikes. Mustangs have been successful here throughout the years. Very successful here. In fact, they have not lost to the Blue Devils in Colorado 7 league play. The 2-0 pitch, here it is. Swung on and grounded towards right field. That's a base hit. Garver's going to round third. Garver's being sent home. The throw towards the plate is going to be cut off. And to third is Keller. It's an RBI single for Adrian Marquez. And the Mustangs lead 2-0 in the second inning. That's 3 consecutive hits for Fort Morgan. And here we go with J.P. Hamer hitting .233. So the Mustangs have a run in each of the first 2 innings, but looking for more. Marquez with a 2-step lead. Suarez with a long pause, the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. A late swing and well out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Fort Morgan at 10-4 going into the game. Again, they'll close out the regular season tomorrow, 2 o'clock, weather permitting, from Thornton against Skyview. We'll have that game on B106 and B106.com. Hamer awaits the 0-1, and the breaking ball is upstairs. Then a week from Wednesday, how about a week from today, John? A week from today, which is also Wednesday, they will play in Lakewood in the Colorado 7 League Tournament. Opponent to be determined. Same thing with the time. Don't know yet. The stretch and the pitch runner goes, and that's a check swing throw to third. And so it's a stolen base for Marquez. They were trying to get Keller on the front end. Hamer took a check swing, and it's called a strike. It's 1-2. So 2 in scoring position. With 1 down, 1 in. And the 1-2 to J.P. Hamer. Fastball very high. In fact, Howard had to jump just to catch it. Count is at 2-2. Fort Lupton had a base hit in the bottom of the first, but the runner was stranded at second. Out of the stretch with Keller at third and Marquez at second. The 2-2 pitch, to Hamer. And he swings and misses at a fastball up and he strikes out, and there's 2 down. That was virtually the same pitch he missed on that 1-1 count. Joe Holbeck can try to drive in these two and extend the lead. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the first. Holbeck again hitting .333. The second baseman as Suarez winds, and a pitch is swung on, grounded to second. Nice play over there and a low throw, but it's dug out by Segovia as Gavin Case makes the play, and the Mustangs, despite a second and third situation with 1 out, are held to 1 run here in the top of the second inning. And they do it on 3 hits, no errors, and again 2 men left. Let's head to the bottom of the second after the break. It's Fort Morgan 2, Fort Lupton nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Dante Vasquez will lead off for Fort Lupton in the bottom of the second inning. The Mustangs lead 2-0. Joe Holbeck scored on a pass ball. And then Adrian Marquez with an RBI single. Out of the 5-hole with Freddie Suarez on deck is Vasquez. Wind and pitch by Shirtliff. It's upstairs, took something off it. 1 ball and no strikes. What I love about Shirtliff, he takes about 5 seconds between pitches. Swung on and popped up into shallow right center field. A long run for Hamer, and he gets under it, makes the catch in the gap, and there's 1 down. Hamer's got a lot of quickness and speed. He had to run a long way, but was virtually standing there when the ball descended into his glove. Here's the right-handed hitter Freddie Suarez, the opposing pitcher. Stepping in. Wind by Shirtliff in the offering, and the breaking ball goes all the way to the screen. 1 ball and no strikes. For Lupton again at 8-7 going into this game. Wind and pitch. Swing and a miss, and a fastball down the middle at the knees, and the count is at 1-1. And the offering swung on and fouled back. Count moves to 1-2. With 1 out and the bases empty in the bottom of the second inning. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shirtliff delivers. Curveball is chopped over the mound. The shortstop Linker charges. He cannot glove it. It's a base hit. Took a funny hop and hit off the top of his glove. And Suarez does not have a ton of foot speed, but it is a base hit. That's the second infield hit for Fort Lupton in as many frames. Here's Andres Esqueda. Mustangs had 3 hits in that second inning. Suarez will run for himself. Lots of times pitchers will have a courtesy runner. Shirtliff comes home, and the fastball's a strike at the knees on the outer half. It's 0-1. Yeah, Fort Morgan's had some tough losses this year, man. The pitch swung on and chopped over the mound. The shortstop Linker charges again. It's off the bottom of his glove. That'll be scored in there. Throw back to second, and safe. Suarez gets back in, but that's scored in there. If Linker fields that cleanly on the slow roller, he has got Escada out. So again, a lot of this is subjective, but I thought he had the easy play there. That ball was hit a little bit harder, and he was playing in a little bit more. And that one did not take a funky hop either. That's the other reason it scored an error. Here's Andrew Segovia hitting from the left side, squaring to Bunny, fouls it off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. Fort Lupton had 1 base runner in the first. They've got 2 in the second with 1 down. And Fort Morgan leading 2-0. Lots of chances already for Linker at short, the stretch. And the throw to second, runner goes to third. Holbeck's going to throw to third. That's going to be way late. And then the ball gets towards the Fort Lupton dugout. but the trail runner advances, and they're going to award Suarez home plate. And the trail runner to third because the ball did bounce into the dugout. It'll be an error on Holbeck on the errant throw, and it's now a 2-1 game. Had Shirtliff stepped off, they would have had an easy pickoff. So it's a stolen base for Suarez. And then the error by Holbeck scores the run, and that tying run is at third base. Mustangs did not expect this. Out of the windup is Shirtliff, and the offering. Swing and a miss, threw it right by him. No balls and 2 strikes. Not a pretty inning for Fort Morgan, but Linkers had some bad luck over there. Swing and a miss on a fastball at the letters. Shirtliff registers the K. There's 2 down. Here's the number 9 hitter, Ernesto Sanchez. The pitch. Fastball is up and in. Strikeout number 2 there for Trevor Shirtliff. Here's the wind and the 1-0. And that is a strike on the outer half with a fastball at the knees. The count is level at 1-1. Trevor ready. The pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball that was above the letters. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's working so quickly. They could almost accuse him of quick pitching, and they wanted Nesto to call time in that box. Now he settles in. 1-2. Curveball is hit slowly on the ground on the right side. The pitcher, Shirtliff, underhands to first for the out. And Fort Lupton is retired in the bottom of the second. However, they do score a run on 1 hit. 2 errors by Fort Morgan. And a man left on base. We head to the third. It's Fort Morgan 2, Fort Lupton 1. This is Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan 2, Fort Lupton 1 as we head to the third inning in Fort Lupton. Mustangs had a chance to score more than 1 in that second inning with second and third and 1 outs, but could not deliver. But then again, Fort Lupton had a man at third with 1 out and 1 across, and they could not score another run. It'll be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Trevor Shirtliff, Trey McBride, and Nate Cage. Shirtliff had a sac bunt his first time up, so officially 0 for 0. Here against the right-hander, Freddie Suarez. Fort Lupton, incidentally, dressed in their white uniforms with the royal blue numerals and lettering. Here's Shirtliff. Wind and pitch. And that's bunted out down the third base side. Picked up by Howard. Then he drops it, and it's going to be a base hit. Yep. Well, he really never picked it up. He had his hand on it. Scored a base hit. I was mentioning earlier, Fort Morgan's lost some tough games this year. 3-1 to University, 4-3 to Lamar, 7-5 yesterday to Longmont. Their only loss that wasn't as close was against Connor for 11-5, although Fort Morgan was only down 2-0 in that game in the 5th inning. Here's McBride. He grounded out his first time up. The pitch, and he swings and fouls it back on a fastball above the letters. It's 0-1. Two runs on 4 hits for the Mustangs, 1 run on 2 hits for Fort Lupton. The Mustangs have committed the only errors, 2 errors, and they were both half an inning ago. McBride digs in. And the pitch. And the breaking ball is laced high and deep into left center field. Forget about it. That is a 2-run mammoth blast for Trey McBride. He demolished that baseball, and the Mustangs lead 4-1 in the top of the 3rd inning. That was a hanging breaking ball from Freddie Suarez, and McBride beat it up there. For McBride, it's his 2nd home run of the season. Man, that was a gorgeous swing by the junior. Here is Nate Cage. Cage struck out swinging his first time up. And I think McBride might have been waiting on that one. One with a fastball, and then what happened? You speed up the bat, and I never saw the ball fly over the fence. You could just tell it was gone from the time it left his bat, and that is a strike. Cage looked like he went through on that pitch on the inside corner. It's 0-1. So the Mustangs have scored in every inning. The pitch. Fastball is upstairs. Count is level at 1-1 strike to Nate Cage. And Suarez comes home. Swung on, popped up, and that's out of play behind the screen as the catcher, Howard, gives chase. 1-2 strikes. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota East in Fort Morgan will fit you into the car truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Ehrlich Toyota East. 1-2 strikes to Nate Cage. Here's the rhyme by Suarez, the pitch. And he swings and misses. An ugly swing at a breaking ball down and away. And Cage strikes out for the second time. There's one out. And for Freddie Suarez, he's got 3 strikeouts in a game. Isaac Linker popped up his first time out. The pitch. Fastball is up and in. That was pitch number 37, delivered by Suarez. 25 strikes and 12 balls. And the 1-0, and that's low. Took something off at 2 balls and no strikes. Grayson Garver's on deck. And Suarez delivers. Swung on, popped up, and that ball's headed to the screen, and Howard watches the ball go out of play. Ball 2, strike 1. John Howard back in his position behind the plate, lays down the sign. And Suarez delivers. And the bender swung on and missed. It was in the dirt. I'll tell you what, he's got a good curveball in Fort Morgan outside of McBride, who read it beautifully. They're not reading that pitch in the dirt. Cage struck out on that one, and Linker just swung at a 2-1 that should have been a 3-1. Now the 2-2, and he swings and grounds it up the middle for a base hit into right center field on a fastball away. Nice adjustment there by Linker, and the Mustangs have their 3rd hit of the inning and their 6th of the game. Grayson Garver had a bunt single, his first time up. Yeah, I'm surprised Suarez threw that pitch. I mean, he made Linker look bad on the 2-1, but he went with a fastball, and Linker's a very good fastball hitter. So Garver looking for the signs from head coach Josh Langford. It's a 2-step advantage for Linker at first. The stretch. And Garver awaits the pitch. Long pause, though. Here it is. Fastball is upstairs and inside. 1-0 strikes. We're in the top of the 3rd inning. Fort Morgan with a 4-1 lead. Joe Holbeck scored on a pass ball. Adrian Marquez with an RBI single in the 2nd. And then Trey McBride with a 2-run homer here in the 3rd. And the pitch. Swung on. Line down the left field line. It is foul. That ball was belted, but it had a little bit too much topspin. 1-1, and he out in front a little bit. One ball and 1 strike. Again, Garver settling back in. Linker with a short lead. Doesn't look like he's going to take off anytime soon. Throw back to first, and Linker's back in diving. Mustangs did have a 5-4 lead yesterday after 3.5, and then Longmont scored the last 3 runs. Garver awaits the pitch. Here it is, and he takes that changeup down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. To the junior, Grayson Garver. The stretch. And the pitch. And that is a strike on the inside corner with a fastball. That's a delayed call. And that was framed big time by Howard. And anytime it's a delayed call and the Pitch is framed, basically a second prior to it. At least it tells me that it was probably not in the strike zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 on, 2 in, and Garver calls time. And that gives me time to tell you that you need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape. Make sure you take care of them by purchasing the best quality parts at great prices at your local Napa store. Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. Runner goes, swung on and driven into the left center field gap. That ball is going to be caught over there, and retreating towards first is Linker, the throw, and it gets by the first baseman, Andrew Segovia, as Linker was trying to get back. And now he advances to second as Jimenez made the catch. Now there's 2 down, but that's going to be an error on the first baseman. That should have been fielded on the hop. It would have been a double play. I mean, that was thrown very nicely there by Jimenez, but Segovia didn't look it in. And Fort Morgan commits their first error. And it was pretty much a Sunday hop, too. Here's Jimmy Keller. He singled his first time up. And the pitch. And he swings and chops it towards short. Charging is Howard. And it's off the bottom of his glove. And Keller's going to reach. It's an error again. This time on the shortstop. He did not let that ball play him, but if he fields it cleanly, Keller would have been out. So Jimmy now at 1 for 2, but on base for the second time. I think it was a Baltimore chop, a huge chop there, but with some acceleration to it. Here's Marquez, who had the RBI single in the second. Fort Morgan threatening here once again in the third. And just like the Mustangs had a sloppy bottom of the second, Fort Lupton's doing the same here half an inning later. With Linker at third, Keller at first. Let's see if Jimmy takes off. Howard lays down the sign. Suarez stretches. Suarez delivers. And the fastball's a strike on the outer half, thigh high. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, this inning's had a little bit of everything. A potential double play, a 2-run homer, a couple of errors. A bunt single, the pitch, and that is way outside. Keller trying to take off on a delayed steal, no throw. He was trying to coax the catcher Howard into throwing and then creating that double steal where Linker would have taken off for home, but Howard was not biting. Stolen base for Keller, 2 in scoring position. 1 ball, 1 strike out of the windup with 2 down. The pitch, and that bounces in and bounces all the way to the screen. Here comes Linker. He will score. Keller to third. 3 runs across. It's a wild pitch by Suarez. And Fort Morgan leads 5-1 over the Blue Devils of Fort Lupton. Still a chance here for Marquez to drive in a second run of the game. And again, a 2-out error makes that run unearned. But even prior to that, Linker should have been doubled up on that fly ball into the left center field gap. Just misplayed over there. The pitch, and that bounces all the way to the screen. This same pitch, same result as a runner scores. Crossing home plate is Keller. And Fort Morgan now leads 6-1. So the Mustangs have scored half of their runs on 2 wild pitches and a passed ball. It's a 3-1 count here to Marquez with Hamer on deck. And Suarez comes home. Swung on and chopped over the third baseman Vasquez into left field for a base hit. That had the same type of hop that Keller's had, but the third baseman plays in a lot more than the shortstop. And the inning is extended here for Fort Morgan. It'll be Hamer, who struck out his first time up. Now batting for the Mustangs, up 6-1 in the third. The stretch by Suarez. Runner goes, fastball is high, and the throw to second, the slide, and in there safely is Marquez. I got to check out how many stolen bases Fort Morgan now has. It's got to be at least 4, if not more. And the pitch, very high. Wow. I mean, Howard is literally jumping on the last 2 pitches just to catch the ball. Yeah, Suarez, who was in control, has now lost complete control of the strike zone. 2-0 pitch, and that one gets through Howard. That's going to be a pass ball. That one got there on the fly. Advancing to third is Hamer. Mustangs don't have to do much here. Check that. Marquez advances to third on the pass ball. 3 balls and no strikes. And the inning is getting away here from Fort Lupton with the Mustangs up by 5. There'll be a conversation on the hill. And you're looking at a situation right now where Fort Morgan has been given a few free bases, and, well, they have 3 stolen bases officially in this game, and a 3-0 count to Hamer. And Joe Holbeck's on deck. He would have his 3rd plate appearance in as many innings. First things first, though. And they're going to keep Suarez in the game. Not in danger of being taken out yet. Pete's Farmers Cooperative has been in business since 1915. They're still the small-town company that cares about each of their individual customers. See them for all your propane, fuel, and farm needs. Pete's Farmers Cooperative. 3 balls and no strikes to Hamer, and the pitch. And that's taken for a strike with a fastball. Down the middle, it's 3-1. Out of the windup with Marquez at third, the pitch. And he swings and grounds it towards short. And it takes a funky hop, and it goes into left field. Scoring's going to be Marquez. I'm going to give that a base hit. That went from a hop to a roll out there. Very difficult to field, so not sure how the Mustang scorekeepers will score that, but I'm going to give him a hit because that thing should have taken a hop towards Howard, and instead it went from a hop to the roll. And, man, you need the reflexes of a cat. 7-1. Here is Holbeck, the pitch, and that bounces in and again to the screen. 3rd wild pitch of the inning. And a second is Holbeck. A check that is Hamer. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. And the catcher, John Howard's been extremely busy. The pitch, extremely high. Man, I don't know how he keeps Suarez in the game. He is overthrowing right now. He's obviously frustrated. I don't blame him. He's had a couple of errors committed behind him. He should have been out of this inning. And Fort Morgan's put together some unearned runs here. Pitch to Holbeck. Swung on, hit slowly on the ground to third. Vasquez charges, set, throws off balance, and the ball skips over the glove of Segovia. Rounding third and scoring is going to be Hamer. And now all the way to third is going to be Holbeck. And the throw there is going to be late. No RBI. It's another error in the inning, this time by Vasquez, and the Mustangs lead 8-1. And things have fallen apart, unfortunately, for Fort Lupton in this frame. And we're going to have a pitching change here. We'll take it with them. A 2-minute break. We're in the 3rd. The Mustangs have 6 across in the frame. It's Fort Morgan 8, Fort Lupton 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Andrew Segovia is the new pitcher for Fort Lupton here in the top of the 3rd. Freddie Suarez now at first, and quite frankly, Freddie was not supported defensively in this inning, and the Mustangs have capitalized with unearned runs. Fort Lupton has committed 3 errors in the inning. And here is Shirtliff with a sac bunt and a bunt single. 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 6 here in the 3rd. And the pitch swung on and fouled back from the left-hander. Holbeck is at 3rd with 2 down. Segovia gets a sign from Howard. Wind and pitch. Swung on line. Base hit into right center field. That ball continues to roll. Shirtliff is going to have at least a double, maybe a triple. The ball is still rolling as Holbeck scores, and Shirtliff has an RBI triple with 2 down in the 3rd. The Mustangs have 7 across and lead Fort Lupton 9-1. And that ball was tattooed by Trevor Shirtliff. Here's Trey McBride. McBride is the 11th hitter of the inning. After Shirtliff led off with a bunt single, McBride hit a 2-run homer over the left center field fence. Can he homer off a different pitcher now? The pitch. And he takes that fastball down and in. 1 ball and no strikes to McBride. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a pitch tailing away. Not his pitch. And he knew it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Segovia ready. Out of the line with a man at third and 2 down. And the offering. Swung on and lifted down the right field line. That's going to be a long run, and they can't even spot the ball, but it's twisting foul. Yeah, that ball got into the sun, and Bobby Miller didn't see the ball at all. He had no idea where that ball was. 1 ball and 2 strikes. McBride's home run came off the starting pitcher Suarez. His second of the year. Segovia kicks and delivers, and that is swung on, grounded right back to the mound, and Segovia will toss to first, and that retires McBride and the Mustangs here in the top of the 3rd inning. Fort Morgan scores 7 runs on 6 hits. There were 3 errors and a man left. We head to the bottom of the 3rd in Fort Lupton. It's the Mustangs 9, the Blue Devils 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan 9, Fort Lupton 1. As we head to the bottom of the 3rd, and because they've got a big lead and a big game coming up tomorrow, Bobby Tolson is now the new pitcher. That'll send Trevor Shurtleff to short. The second baseman is now Isaac Linker. That means Joe Holbeck is behind the plate. And then that would send Trey McBride into right field based on what they've done all season with that particular pitching situation. Well, that's smart by Coach Langford. I mean, you don't want to use your number 1 pitcher when you got this big of a lead. So you can close the book on Shurtleff. Shurtleff threw just 33 pitches. Well, they do have a big game tomorrow. It's more about tomorrow's game than this game in particular. So I'm getting a little bit of flack here for the Blue Devil fans, but they got the number 2 pitcher now. This is still a very good pitcher. Tolson is Tolson's not that easy to hit either. Now here we go. Dusty Howard, Gavin Case, and John Howard here in the bottom of the 3rd. Yeah, I always love sitting on the visiting side. That's more interesting for me. Here's Dusty Howard. Howard singled his first time up against the starter, Trevor Shurtleff. Depending upon how many innings this game goes, he might not be eligible for the win. So we'll see what the case is there. But it is a 9-1 lead for the Mustangs here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And Bobby Tolson delivers. And that changeup is a strike. Down the middle at the knees, it's 0-1. And the offering. That changeup bounces in. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the wine and offering. And that is up and in. 2-1 here to Dusty Howard, the number 1 hitter in this lineup. And the offering. And that changeup is low. It's 3-1. 9 runs on 9 hits for the Mustangs. 1 run on 2 hits for Fort Lupton. The Mustangs have 2 errors, and the Blue Devils have committed 3, and the 3-1. And that's up and in. It's a walk to Howard. That'll bring up Gavin Case, who struck out his first time up. So Gavin Case batting for the right side. With a 2-step lead at first. And the pitch swung on and fouled back. No balls and 1 strike. Well, since Shurtleff threw just 33 pitches, you'd assume that he would be starting tomorrow against Skyview. But you got to get through this game first. I mean, Shurtleff cannot take the mound. Once again, the pitch. Swing and a miss. A little bit of a breaking ball there. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Short lead at first for Howard. Throwback to first, back and diving is Howard. No balls and 2 strikes to Case. The stretch by Tolson. And the pitch. And the breaking ball swung on in line and caught by the shortstop Shirtliff. Right off the end of the bat, there's 1 down. One down here in the third for John Howard, who popped to right. Fort Lupton's had base runners on in every inning. Long pause at the belt. Throwback to first. Back and diving is Howard. It's actually warming up here in Fort Lupton. Throwback to first, and that one skips by Marquez, but no advance. Well, again, that's one time we saw that earlier, but it was on a good throw. Howard digs in, 0 for 1. Stretch and pitch. And the breaking ball is grounded to third. Cage to second for 1. And Linker to first. That's 2. 5, 4, 3 double play. No runs, no hits, no errors. And nobody left. Let's head to the fourth. It's Fort Morgan 9, Fort Lupton 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. You are listening to Fort Morgan Mustang Sports on Morgan County's B106. This is KPRB Brush, Fort Morgan. Let's head to the fourth inning. The Mustangs lead the Blue Devils 9-1. In Fort Lupton, it'll be Nate Cage, Isaac Linker, and Grayson Garver against the left-hander Andrew Segovia, and I'm sure Cage is happy to see Suarez out of there. He struck out twice against Juarez. And for the starting pitcher for Fort Lupton, he went 2 2/3 innings through 60 pitches. He allowed 9 runs, but only 3 earned. So he actually pitched pretty decently, except he did throw a few wild pitches in there, 3 of them, and he hit a batter. The pitch, and that is a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1 to Nate Cage here in the top of the fourth inning. Wide and offering. Swung on and fouled back on a ball up in the zone. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Cage. There's the wind and pitch. Tails away with a heater. Ball 1, strike 2. Cage, Linker, and Garber here in the fourth. Fort Morgan 9, Fort Lupton 1. They've scored in every inning, including 7 in the third. And the pitch. And that is just outside with a fastball. Didn't miss by much. From the left-hander, it's 2-2. Cage digging in. Wind and pitch. Swung on. That ball is grounded towards right field and is fielded by the second baseman. Throw to first for the out. Gavin Case was able to make the play in the hole. An outstanding play by Case, robbing Cage of a base hit. There's 1 down. Here is Isaac Linker. Linker popped out and singled. Here's the wind and offering, and Linker takes a fastball high. 1 ball and no strikes. Live in your world, learn in theirs at Northeastern. Go to njc.edu for more information about Northeastern or classes available to you. It is 2-0 to Linker. Here is the wind and the offering, and that's up and away again, 3-0. Mustangs can save their arms if they can get out of here in abbreviated fashion, and that's high. And it's a walk on 4 pitches to Linker. That'll bring up Grayson Garver. Had a bunt single, and then he popped to short. It's 1 for 2. Fort Lupton scored their lone run in the second on a Mustang error. Hard to run on this left-handed pitcher. And the pitch. That's a fastball for a strike. Down the middle at the knees. It's 0-1. If the Mustangs can put things away, they would improve to 11-4 going into their regular season finale tomorrow. Long pause, and the pitch. Swung on. That ball is fouled off and out of play. Count moves to 0-2. Right here on KPRB, Brush Fort Morgan, also known as Morgan County's B106, with a no-ball, 2-strike count here to Garver. And Fort Morgan with a 9-1 lead in the top of the fourth inning. The stretch by Segovia, and the offering. Fouled with a changeup right off the catcher's glove to the screen. Just like that, the temperature starts to drop a little bit. It's been fluctuating here over the last 30 minutes. We're an hour and 2 minutes into this game. Still no balls and 2 strikes. Linker with a 2-step advantage. And the offering. Swung on and missed, and first base is occupied as the ball gets away. So Garver strikes out. He thought he fouled off the pitch. Did he foul it off? Well, are they ruling a foul ball at the plate? I guess they are. So back to first as Linker got a piece of it. I mean, he just got a piece of it. Very little. Because that ball didn't change direction too much off the glove of Howard. And Howard went chasing for the ball as if it was a strikeout, but nonetheless, it's ruled a foul ball. It's still 0-2. And Garver awaits the pitch. Here it is. Runner goes. It's taken outside with a changeup. Throw to second, up the second base side. And it's a stolen base for Linker. He's in scoring position. And Garver's got a 1-ball, 2-strike count on him. And the Mustangs have stolen their 4th base of the game. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Garver, and the pitch, and he takes it outside. Count levels at 2-2. Jimmy Keller is on deck. And the offering. Swung on, grounded weakly to short. Howard fell down and now does not have a play. He slipped. So that's going to be a base hit there for Garver. It would have been a tough play anyway. The ball was not hit sharply. And Garver now has his 2nd hit of the game. Holding up at second on the slow roller was Linker. Keller has singled and reached on an error. He's 1 for 2. Hit the ball hard a couple of times. The stretch. And the pitch to Keller. And he fouls it at the plate. On the off-speed pitch, it's 0-1. 9 runs on 10 hits for the Mustangs. 1 run on 2 hits for Fort Lupton. Mustangs have stranded 3. The Blue Devils have left 2 on the bases. No balls and 1 strike. Keller back in the box. The stretch and pitch squaring to bunt, and he lays it down out in front of the plate. It's fielded by Segovia. Throw to third, and that's going to be in time. Oh, the Mustang fans thought that he was safe, but they're going to call him out. The fielder's choice, 1-5. And now it's first and second again with 2 down. Yeah, I thought the throw was late. In fact, I didn't think that was the right play there by Segovia. I thought he was going to go to first, but it is ruled an out. And here is Adrian Marquez, who singled twice, including a run-scoring single, his first time up. Here's the stretch and the pitch. And that's outside. Runner goes to third. The slide, and Garver is going to be out as the tag is applied by Vasquez. Garver is caught stealing. And for the first time in the game, the Mustangs do not score in an inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. To the bottom of the 4th we go after the break. It's Fort Morgan 9, Fort Lupton 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Fort Morgan 9, Fort Lupton 1 as we move to the bottom of the fourth inning. Bobby Tolson begins his second inning of work. And he will face Bobby Miller to lead off this inning. Miller the first time grounded out to second. He's the cleanup hitter in this Fort Lupton lineup. Pitch by Tolson is a changeup for a strike. At the knees, it's 0-1. Tolson threw just 9 pitches in the third, aided by a double play, down and away. Count levels at 1-1. Dante Vasquez will follow. And the offering, swing and a miss. Man, he really pulled the string on that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tolson did record a strikeout. The pitch and a check swing foul. Actually did not record a strikeout. Check that. Remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, it was 4 years ago in this field that we had a 3-hour game that Fort Morgan won 19-10. It just wouldn't end. The offering. Curveball is chopped slowly up the middle. The shortstop, Shurtleff, stops, grabs it, throws to first, and out is Bobby Miller for the opening out here at the bottom of the fourth inning. Shurtleff did a nice job of stopping and not running right into that ball. Here's Dante Vasquez, who popped to center his first time up. And now asking for an appeal. But, yeah, I mean, you certainly can't tell from here. Yeah, either the field umpire's got to change his mind out there. Let's see if the call has changed, but that's not going to be the case. Marquez apparently kept his foot on the bag according to the field umpire, so there's 1 down. And here's Dante Vasquez. Lost you there for a second, but 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. What a changeup that was. To Vasquez, no balls and 1 strike. And Bobby Tolson delivers upstairs. Count levels at 1-1. With 1 out and the bases empty in the bottom of the fourth. Fort Morgan leads Fort Lupton 9-1. The offering. That's high again. Ball 2, strike 1. Tolson ready. Laying down the sign is Joe Holbeck. And the pitch. Well, he missed badly with a breaking ball. I think he wanted to throw a breaking ball because that didn't look good out of his hand at all. Well, he did walk a hitter. And then they got the double play on the next hitter. That was 1 inning ago. Swung on, popped up, and that one is out of play. Count goes to 3-2. I mean, I should have gone back there, but I decided to loaf it. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, grounded down the first base side, foul. Count remains at 3-2 here to Vasquez. Mustangs scored a run in the first, 1 in the second, and 7 in the third. They got a 2-run blast from Trey McBride, his second round tripper of the year, to get the scoring started in that third inning. It'll be another 3-2 pitch coming up to Dante Vasquez, the third baseman for Fort Lupton. Tolson looks in, and the pitch. And that is a called strike 3, a changeup on the inside corner. It's out number 2 in the bottom of the fourth inning. And Tolson spotted that one beautifully. And here's Freddie Suarez, who singled his first time up. So Freddie steps in for Fort Lupton. Here's the wind by Tolson, the offering. And that is low. Might have put some extra heat on that one. 1 ball and no strikes. Tolson looking very good here since coming into the game in the bottom of the third inning. The pitch swung on and fouled off the catcher Holbeck. Count levels at 1-1. Again, the big game today is, besides this game, is Conifer against Skyview. Try to get an update on that. The pitch, and that ball hit him. Tailed inside, and it got away from Tolson. Suarez is hit. I'm not sure if he was just trying to throw a changeup or a breaking ball. Just got away from him. Both teams with a hit batsman. Here's Andres Escada. He reached on an error. It is a 2-out base runner. Stretched by Tolson. And the offering. And that is a strike. Down the middle with a changeup. It's 0-1. Tolson with some very good off-speed stuff today, which is usually the case with him. The stretch. 2-step lead for Suarez. The pitch is swung on. That ball is popped up in the infield on the left side. Nate Cage, the third baseman, makes the one-handed grab. And that does it for Fort Lupton in the bottom of the fourth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We head to the fifth. It's Fort Morgan 9, Fort Lupton 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the fifth inning in Fort Lupton. The Mustangs lead the game 9-1. Fort Morgan will have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Adrian Marquez, J.P. Hamer, and Joe Holbeck, against left-hander Andrew Segovia, who's done a nice job since coming into the game in the third. He's not allowed to run yet. And the Mustangs are trying to change that. Marquez is 2 for 2. He was at the plate when Garver was caught stealing to end the fourth inning. So here's Marquez, who came into the game batting .256, but now at 12 out of 41 is nearing the 300 mark. There's the wind and the pitch. Swung on and chopped slowly to short, and a huge hop into center field for a base hit. You know, I got to tell you, I've never seen so many crazy hops towards a shortstop. I'd love to go out there and just step on that grass because Howard is approaching the ball correctly, but that took a mammoth hop right over his head for a base hit. And Marquez is 3 for 3. There's J.P. Check that, Tolson now stepping in. Bobby Tolson out of that 9-hole. The pitch up and away with a fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Bobby hitting .233 on the season. Marquez with a 2-step advantage over at first. And Segovia delivers. And that's a fastball for a strike down the middle at the knees. It's 1-1. Trevor Shirtliff and Bobby Tolson are working in a combined 2-hitter up to this point. And the pitch swung on and fouled straight back. Nice job, Andy. And those were both, I believe, infield hits off of Shirtliff. Tolson is not allowed to hit as of yet. 1 ball, 2 strikes with nobody out in the fifth inning and a man on. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and the ball in the dirt. And Tolson strikes out for the first out. That'll bring up now the catcher, Joe Holbeck. Started off as the second baseman. Holbeck was hit by a pitch, grounded to second, and reached on an error. He is 0 for 2 in this afternoon's game. And that one went behind Holbeck. The wild pitch will send Marquez to second. Now he's got a chance to score a run. Yeah, Holbeck has scored 2 runs. He's the only Mustang to score twice. Every Mustang has scored at least a run in the game except Cage. There you go. 1 ball, no strikes with 1 out, 1 on. 9-1 Fort Morgan in the fifth. And the pitch up and away. Just 2 balls and no strikes. Stretch by Segovia. And the offering. And that's a fastball for a strike. On the inside corner, it's 2-1. Segovia's got some good movement on his pitches here. 2 balls and 1 strike. The stretch, Holbeck awaits. And the pitch. And that tails away with the off speed. It's 3-1. With Trevor Shirtliff on deck. And Segovia wants a new baseball as we approach this 3-1 count. Proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan, Equitable Savings and Loan in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. Available 24/7 for your banking needs, Equitable Savings and Loan. And a 3-1 pitch, and that's outside with a fastball. It's a walk to Holbeck. And here comes Shirtliff, a sac bunt, a bunt single, and a triple, plating a run. He is 2 for 2. And he's got runners at first and second with only 1 out in the 5th inning, and the Mustangs up here 9-1. And the pitch. Swing and a miss through it right by Shirtliff. It's 0-1. He was challenged down the middle there with the off speed. Marquez at second, Holbeck at first. The stretch by Segovia. And the southpaw delivers. Swung on, lined, fair down the third baseline. Marquez had to hold up to make sure it wasn't caught. He will round third. Marquez is headed towards the plate. 2/3 is Holbeck. Into second is Trevor Shirtliff. He's 3 for 3. It's an RBI double, and the Mustangs now lead 10-1 in Fort Lupton. That'll bring up Trey McBride. McBride has grounded out twice, and he's homered. Officially sitting at 1 for 3. As he steps in with 2 on, his home run was a 2-run shot in the 3rd. Wind and pitch. Fastball is up and away. 1 ball and no strikes to the junior right fielder, Trey McBride. Segovia gets the sign from Howard. And the 1-0. And he takes it away. 2 balls and no strikes. Temperature very mild right now. And the wind and the 2-0. Swung on and fouled straight back. Count sitting at 2-1. Here to McBride. The wind by Segovia and the pitch. Swung on. That ball is fouled off. And out of play, it's 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Segovia ready. So is McBride. Wine and offering. And he swings and grounds it weakly towards short. Case makes the play, throws to first. Scoring is Holbeck. That'll plate the 2nd run of the inning. And the Mustangs now lead 11-1 as McBride is retired. Advancing to 3rd is Shirtliff. And here is Nate Cage, who struck out twice and grounded out. So for 3. Wind and pitch. And that's down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Segovia ready, and the offering upstairs. Nice play there by Howard. I mean, he's really done a nice job behind the plate. He's had some challenges there, and he's done a splendid job here with these 2 pitchers, Suarez and the lefty Segovia. 2-0. The pitch, swing and a miss on a changeup. 2 balls and 1 strike. Shirtliff off of 3rd. Here's the wind and pitch. Tails away. It's 3-1. On deck is Isaac Linker. Nate Cage awaits the 3-1 pitch. And here it is. And as outside off the glove of Howard, here comes Shurtleff to the plate. He will score. It'll be a pass ball, and the Mustangs now lead by a 12-1 count here in the 5th inning. Got 3 across. And let's see if Lenker comes to the plate. He's the scheduled hitter. I don't know if Coach Langford is going to go to the bench here. So Coach Langford chatting with the home plate umpire, and let's see, that going to be Dalen Knapp stepping in for Fort Morgan in this spot. So Knapp will now hit for the Mustangs. Throw back to first, and back in diving. Let's see, I know I have him on the roster somewhere, but that's Knapp for sure. All right, so here we go. It's Knapp's first at bat of the game. The stretch. Pitch to Dalen. That bounces in again, blocked nicely by Howard. 1 ball and no strikes. And Segovia looks in, delivers, and swung on and grounded foul down the first base side. Evens the count at 1-1. Mustangs are 3 outs away from ending this thing in 5 frames, as they've got the 11-run lead. The stretch. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, and a ball diving down in the zone. It's 1-2 to Knapp. Segovia has thrown 50 pitches here in the game in relief of Freddie Suarez. And the 1-2 offering. Swing and a miss, and Segovia records a strikeout. And the Mustangs are done here in the top of the 5th inning. Excuse me. They scored 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 5th. And Fort Morgan leads Fort Lupton 12-1. This is Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the bottom of the 5th inning in Fort Lupton, where the Mustangs lead the Blue Devils 12-1. They broke it open with 7 runs in the top of the 3rd. And the starter, Freddie Suarez, allowed 9 runs, but only 3 were earned. He actually was pitching pretty well, but was not getting the defensive support that he needed in the 3rd. And then Fort Morgan was able to capitalize. Andrew Segovia struck out swinging his first time up. And that was against the starter, Trevor Shurtleff. And I don't know who's going to get the victory here. Tolson in relief in 3 innings probably would get the win. The pitch that bounces in, 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Segovia. 8, 9, and 1 hitters, followed by Ernesto Sanchez and Dusty Howard. Swung on in line, down the right field line, but it twists foul. That ball was hit a mile there by Segovia. He made solid contact, but it's 1 ball and 1 strike, as the ball had lots of tail to it. One ball, 1 strike. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a changeup. Count at 1-2. And Tolson delivers upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fort Lupton needs to score twice to extend the game to the 6th inning. It's 12-1 Fort Morgan here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Tolson comes home. Swung on, popped up into foul territory. Cage is going to have a play in foul territory, and the third baseman makes the catch. And there's 1 down. 1 down here for Ernesto Sanchez, who grounded to the mound in his first plate appearance. Temperature starting to drop. We'll have a brief post-game show coming up. Yeah, the sun has disappeared. They're going to get this game over with in time before it gets even colder. Swung on that ball is laced foul down the left side. Good strong swing there by Sanchez. It's 0-1. Fort Lupton scored their lone run in the second. There's the wind and the 0-1 pitch. And the breaking ball's foul tipped into the glove of Holbeck. It's 0-2. Bobby Tolson delivers the 0-2. Swung on and fouled at the plate. Sanchez stays alive. Still no balls and 2 strikes. See if Bobby might try to waste a pitch here. And the offering, and the curveball is high. Shurtleff with 2 strikeouts, and Tolson with just 1. Bobby T with a 1-2. Swing and a miss. Tied him up with a fastball in the inner half. Strikeout number 2. There's 2 down here in the 5th. Dusty Howard has been on base twice. He singled and walked. And now, well, here comes Coach Langford. This might be because of the number of pitches he's thrown. I don't know. 36 pitches. Yeah, that's why he's going to make the pitching change. He wants to preserve Tolson because of pitch count. And looks like Jimmy Keller's coming out of the game. So we will have a pitching change with 2 down in the bottom of the 5th inning. See who's got the baseball there for the Mustangs. Pitching change brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. That's Morgan Community College. So the pitching change, we'll keep it right here. Well, Keller came out. I wonder if he's, let's see here, with 2 down. It must be him. I mean, I'm trying to spot. Let's see, 14. Yeah, Jimmy Keller is going to be on the mound here. Yeah, I wanted to make sure. I thought he maybe replaced one glove with the other. This will be some good experience for the junior. With Shurtleff graduating, Keller will be part of this pitching staff next year. So he's going to take the mound here with 2 down in the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Mustangs up by a 14-1 score. And they're just looking for him to register 1 out here, with Dusty Howard about to step in as he's taking his 8 warm-up pitches. Got some good mechanics. Solid mechanics. We'll see what pitches he throws besides the fastball. That's all he's using right now to warm up. But very simple mechanics here for Keller. Mustangs scored 7 runs in the 3rd, and that's what basically started to put this game out of reach at that point. So here's his final warm-up pitch, and it'll be Dusty Howard that is stepping in with 2 down, and the base is empty in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Fort Morgan up by a score of 12-1. All right, let's see what Jimmy does with the batter inside the box here. Wind and pitch, and he bounces it in. That can generally happen, too. He threw nothing but strikes during warm-ups, but all of a sudden the batter steps in, and not as easy. 1-0 here to Howard. Here's the wind and offering, and that nearly hit him. 2-0. He had to back out of the way. Again, if Fort Lupton scores twice, and the game will go to the 6th inning. They're down by 11. The pitch, foul to the screen on the fastball down the middle. It's 2-1. Well, Howard was not retired by either of the first two pitchers, Shirtliff or Bobby Tolson. Here is the wind and the 2-1. That is a fastball for a strike on the outer half at the knees. 2-2 as Jimmy Keller is looking to close it out right now. Keller gets the sign. And the 2-2 pitch. The breaking ball is down and away. Howard laid off at the last second. It's 3-2. Gavin Case will hit if Howard can reach. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Keller comes home. Swung on in line down the right field line, but is twisting foul. Remains at 3-2. Here, Dusty Howard. Bobby Tolson, by the way, now in left field. It'll be a 3-2 pitch. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Keller records a strikeout. And the Fort Morgan Mustangs have won the game by the score of 12-1 in 5 innings. All right, let's take a break. We'll take a 2-minute break, and we'll wrap it up after this as Fort Morgan wins 12-1 in 5 on Morgan County's B106, and B106.com. The Mustang Post Game Show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College, as we mentioned earlier, is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu as the Mustangs defeat the Fort Lupton Blue Devils in an hour and 36 minutes in Fort Lupton, 12-1 in 5 innings, 12 runs on 12 hits for the Mustangs, 2 errors, 5 left on base, 1 run, 2 hits, 3 errors, and 3 left on base for Fort Lupton. We'll say that Trevor Shirtliff is the winning pitcher. Not sure exactly how they scored that in high school since he went just 2 innings. Tolson went 2 2/3, and then Jimmy Keller struck out the last hitter, and the loss went to Freddie Suarez. Here's how the game went as the Mustangs grabbed a 1-0 lead without the benefit of a hit in the first inning as Joe Holbeck scored on the pass ball. They made it 2-0 in the second on Adrian Marquez's RBI single. Fort Lupton would come back and make it a 2-1 game as Freddie Suarez would score on a Mustang error, but then it exploded for the Mustangs in the third inning. Trey McBride hit a 2-run homer as the Mustangs also capitalized on 3 Fort Lupton errors, and it was 4-1. Isaac Linker scored on a wild pitch, as did Jimmy Keller. And then later on, J.P. Hamer had an RBI single, making it 7-1. Joe Holbeck reached on an error, making it 8-1. Trevor Shirtliff had an RBI triple. It was 9-1. And the Mustangs tacked on 3 more runs from there as they won the game once again by a score of 12-1. The Mustangs with a victory are 5-1 in the Colorado 7, and they're 11-4 overall. Fort Lupton 4-3 in league play, 8-8 on the year. They're headed for the conference tournament coming up on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. The Wednesday games will be from All-Star Park in Lakewood, and then the losers play on Friday in Fort Morgan. The winners from Wednesday's games play on Saturday. We still don't know. We don't have an update yet on the Conifer Skyview game. That's the huge game that is ongoing, and we'll see if somehow we can get an update on that game. And if we do, we'll pass it on to you. All right. The Mustang Player of the Game is brought to you by Transwest Chevrolet Buick, serving Northeast Colorado and located in Fort Morgan and Sterling. Stop by and take a test drive. A great selection of new and used vehicles, or browse their website at transwestchevroletbuick.com. Well, the Mustangs had 2 perfect performances. Adrian Marquez and Trevor Shirtliff, both 3 for 3. They're the co-players of the game, brought to you by Transwest. All right, we'll stay on the air here for just a little bit, and we will see momentarily if we can track down a Conifer Skyview score, because here's the bottom line, that if Skyview can win that game and the Mustangs win tomorrow over Conifer, then Fort Morgan would win the regular season championship. However, If Conifer wins that game, then regardless of what Fort Morgan does tomorrow, then that championship would go to Conifer, because Conifer and Fort Morgan would both have one loss. And Conifer defeated Fort Morgan 11-5 in Fort Morgan earlier this season. So trying to get a Conifer Skyview update, and that's it. Conifer has won the league championship. They beat Skyview by a score of 15-2. So Fort Morgan will be at the very best a second seed, because they've got to play Skyview coming up tomorrow. That'll be at 2 o'clock right here on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. All right, outstanding job by our sound engineers and producers, Tristan Reyes and Julie Garcia from Fort Lupton. The final score in 5 innings. I'm John Beltran, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs defeat the Fort Lupton Blue Devils 12-1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com.